Hello and welcome to UKVersus episode 13, where we're going over. I'll go in a second. Well, we're going over the top 16 GenCon list. So we're an hour delayed than usual because we've been taking part in the Patriot webcam event, which is open to everyone. So if you do want to get in more webcam events, please join the Patriot event. Today I'm joined by Mr. Mike Hardiman, one of the arguably best players in Europe, and hopefully still joined by Richard, who is on holiday in Benidorm at the moment. I was laughing because Mr. Andrew Holder has told me that making him follow to chat is a walkout. It prevents bots. If you have follower chat only, it literally prevents bots from spamming silly things in the chat. I've got Mike with me if he's still here, and Richard will probably join where he can.
Yeah, I'm here. I don't think there's no.
Yeah, Richard has got some dedication to join. I think the dedication is more to look at his league, his draft table, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. So we're not gonna go through it as much. But Mike, for those who don't know you, which is not a lot of people, give a little introduction.
I don't want people to know me. I like being an enigma.
Well, why don't you talk about the art that's being used on the stream of this very dashing young man in a suit of armor and how that came to be a thing?
Okay, well, that is from the UFS days of UKVersus. That is my second champion card, second singles champion card from UK Nationals 2018, which is currently standard legal still, I think.
Ooh.
But we don't talk about standards.
Hashtag humble brags. Hello, everyone.
I was forced to talk about it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
I know.
Mike didn't want to use camera, so I wanted to use a very nice image of him feeding steak to Greg from the HLC, but that got vetoed.
Oh.
So we got to use the card art. But yeah, welcome to everyone in the chat. There's probably only one reason that Andrew Holder's here is to see what we have to say about his deck.
Yeah.
Apple says it's it's his favourite character in standard. Which is fair. And how's your holiday, Richard?
Yeah, it's great. So hello, chat. I can't read anything anyone's typing because usually I have Twitch up at the same time, but
you can.
I'm on holiday in Spain, so I'm doing all this from my phone. That's my dedication to the cause. Yeah, it's like 5 to 11 here. So
yeah,
hopefully you can all hear me. Hopefully you can all hear me okay.
We probably won't take too long. Andrew Holder's here because he might die on the plane and couldn't think of who else to listen to he die. Well, not that we want you to die, but if you do die, at least you die doing something you love.
Yeah.
Criticising other people's opinions.
I'd say there are worse things that can be the last thing to listen to before you die, but I can't think of many.
Right, so if you guys are happy, we'll just jump in with number 16's list. And that is Logan McCann on Giro. Good. Can you guys?
So yeah.
Can you guys? I don't know if Richard's going to have access to the list.
No, I'm going to try and see if I can find them on my phone somewhere.
Luckily, you tagged me in it. But Mike, have you got the list?
Oh, I made notes.
You made notes. Okay.
Ah.
So, on initial look, it seems like a pretty decent list. I'm surprised not to see the staff strike, but looking at the attacks, it's pretty decent. But seeing as you have done a lot of forward planning, tell me the notes.
I wouldn't say that much forward planning. This is kind of the good Giro I expected once post Future is now release. You know, just general charge good stuff. I'm going to play all the good cards and I'm going to kill you as Giro. You know, just as Giro does. Like,
yeah,
we all know how strong Giro as a character is for 5 sets now. Adding in Future, yeah, this is pretty similar to what I would play. I'd probably play more attacks and less earphone jack, but like in terms of like the actual attacks that are playing, I think the only one I'd want to add would be something like Ricochet Charge for even more stun.
The earphone jacks for the additional speed do feel nice, but a couple other attacks like Ricochet Charge would be really cool.
Yeah, just like 16 in 52, because I've got the list up now. Seem a little low. I'd probably only play more on the 17-18 side. But yeah, I can't see anything crazy about it. Like Heroes Inspiration.
I like Heroes
Isn't one I see very
Inspiration.
often.
Big Freeze really cool. Big Freeze really good to see. I am surprised we're not seeing any heroic assistance. I do love. I've come around on that card a lot as a stun hate potential. And once you get into, if they go into Deadlock, it's just absolutely beautiful. Heroic assistance, even as a 2 of, seems really good. The passing the torch as a 1 of seems interesting. But yeah, like you're saying, not much.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not trying to necessarily string too hard all the time, right? It's mostly about big hitters, right? It's trying to do a big old cannon blast or a big old haymaker, or or it's stringing with sound waves, in which case you don't necessarily need the draw. So you want more the foundations for passing those checks sometimes, rather than drawing those extra cards. And something like a Destined, where it's a flip rather than a commit, works much better in Giro than the passing. And especially because you don't really ready it or anything, so it's that commit is very much a cost. So I can understand playing a low count of it.
Anything that caught you by surprise, Mike, or anything that stands out?
It's really nice try, so it gets an A+ from me. You know my opinions on that card.
Only 3 of though. Only 3 of.
Yeah, maybe an A- then, but. The only thing I could think of otherwise would be something like Humble Hero. It's a great way to just get that first momentum for like a sound waves on like turn 2.
Well, we have got the standard capture evildoers, and evade and copy seems really good with how mirrors will show up. And Andrew is saying that Logan is the only loss in the event. Flash attacks really mess up in this format. Yeah, Flash is very, very powerful.
Yeah,
especially in Giro when you can just go like. Future is now foundation, amplify, sound blast, eat it.
Yeah, flash attacks are pretty much what I'm looking at for the Sheffield Hour League next weekend. If I can find a way to have something where I can just make giant flash attacks and you just have to deal with it.
You know how you do that? There's a really easy way to do that, Mike. Is you play Stormer Blades and go into a second Storm Blades and a third one into a fourth one, and then flip a sound waves at the end.
It does, yeah. It gets around Razorhead. It gets around a lot. It gets around Muriel's defense. Flash seems really powerful, and it's very. You can. It's not like you can confuse Flash like you can other keywords. Let's go.
But yeah, there's obviously a lot of decks that are very, very reliant on the enhanced phase for their defense. So just removing that option is very good at the moment.
Yeah. Let's move over to Carson Panos on Shoto Todoroki 1. Mike had some
deck.
This behemoth of a deck that looked at the 103 card Kirishima 2 deck that qualified the Oceania Nationals that went, hold my beer, I'll make it bigger.
Yeah, I don't understand. Obviously he's playing Goro in the main. I don't understand why there's a one-off extra character as a buddy block in a 104 card deck, let alone the fact it's a 104 card deck. Obviously the ratios seem off. Like only 27 attacks.
With how Shoto mills, it kind of makes sense to have more foundation and stuff, but for the damage, yeah, I guess you kind of want to have more attacks as well. The special edition collectible is apparently came in clutch during Swish, from what I remember from the commentators.
Really? I hate that card.
No, it's pretty decent. Apple says he's going to go and build this in XR.
Of course he is.
It seems like a decent range package. I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of Chef Uppercut.
Decent main package with like 30 less cards.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I get like wanting to build a bigger deck of Shoto because you want to mill lots and not cycle, so you're turning that damage on. I understand it, but I think 104's just too many.
It's interesting on the water
because he's playing a lot of.
Go on.
I was going to say he's playing obviously a lot of actions as well. I mean, I suppose 10 and 104 isn't crazy numbers, but like obviously 3 nullifies, so he's got loads of cancels.
All out battles are one-off seems really weird to me. It's a decent one. Go Beyond being in there as a free. That's spicy.
Yeah, a card that no one's ever played.
I mean, it got there. It got to the top 16. It did really well. I think the main issue was the change to Toru in the second game. It didn't add anything to the game. It kind of was more counterintuitive to the way that the deck's built.
Yeah. I mean, Toru struggles to kill anyone anyway.
Yeah.
And just playing this pile as Toru just seems a way of just going to time. Like, whether he was just playing a long game as Shoto 1, eventually grinding it out, and then saying, well, you're not beating me game 2 as Toru.
It was. So their record in Swiss was 2-0 loss, 2-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. So a tie, a win, a tie, and then 2-0, 2-0. Yeah, one of the wins was 1-0. So, yeah, there was a lot of ties and there was a lot of 1-0s. So it's a survivable deck.
Yeah.
There's just so much to go over. I'm intrigued to see that there's not much of set 4 and set 5 in the attack.
There's no set 5 at all.
There's not even Manifest. Damn, yeah.
No, there's zero set 5 cards in here, which is a little surprising. Like, I thought with a deck this size, you might want to run Surging Crystal Darts. No, it is ranged. It gets bigger for your discard pile. Has Deadlock to get speed for your discard pile. Feels like an obvious include to me.
Chokeslam. If it's a throw, it gives you speed to your next attack equals the damage it does, and on Todoroki that gets insane.
It's not a range attack.
It's not a range attack. Well, the damage is limited to range attacks in the discard, not the attacks in play. So you can still give it the damage. It just doesn't add to your damage once it's gone.
You can tell I've never played Shoto.
I've played against Shoto quite a bit, and I know that William Howard has put it onto a Twisting Azure, which is a punch charge.
Yeah, the counting of damage counts ranged attacks only, but you can put it on anything.
Yeah, so you can put it on the Crystal Chokeslam, get your damage in, and then give your next attack like Tongue Whip, Frigid, any of these big attacks. Ridiculous amount of speed, and then it comes in for a lot of damage, which seems pretty decent. But it is a 2-check, so
yeah, I think Shoto's obviously very good. Just having that cancel on face, just for there's a lot of key enhancers, especially things like as we'll get to later, cancelling the ready foundations on 100% smash seems pretty good. But I just think obviously he did well. And I'm not trying to bag on the deck list, right? I'm not bagging, but it just feels like you could cut 20-30 cards of this easily, and it would be more consistent.
Clearly Carson's seen a gap that nobody else has seen, and as Redmond's saying, no one's played Shoto. It's been a long time since Shoto's made an impact in the game in any kind of way, and it's not a deck that this is not a deck anyone will be prepared to go up against. With the nullifies, the go beyonds, this deck has a lot of answers, but there are going to be many times where you just don't see anything as well.
Yeah, there's just yes, it's got the answers, but in a 104 card deck, are you going to see the right ones at the right times? And obviously, he must have done so over the course of the tournament to get where he did. But I don't know. Yeah, I still think you could cut 20 or 30 off this easily.
Let's move on to Nate DeWalt playing Eraserhead Void. This seems like a pretty standard punch package Eraserhead. We haven't seen too much in organised play, like in the big events, but I know Eraserhead Void has been making the rounds in casuals and locals. Attack lineup, there's not really much to talk about apart from the Hardened Pummel. I think is a great choice. The ability to stop actions means you can get around Barrier Shield, you can get around the plus ultra blocks, you can get around arrays being played, you can get around a lot of. It's a great way to. It's a great meta pick. Other than that, everything else kind of just feels like punch is good stuff.
Yeah, see, the only thing I don't like about Void Punches on a Razorhead is Rewind Throttle, right? It's just very 3 damage.
Yeah, that's the designated poke, and I like Rewind Throttle in a Razorhead because you don't have to use that top enhance anymore. You don't have to discard a card to commit a foundation in order to trigger the draw. You can literally just discard, pick up a raise, and you get to draw a card. That's very powerful, and it's a poke at 3 damage, which no one's going to block a 7 high for free unless that kills them.
No, I don't know if there's a better option to play in that slot. It's so very 3 damage, and you don't really pump it at all right in this. I don't see much in terms of damage pump in terms of foundation.
Red Ride's
maybe unexpected hero, I suppose.
Red Ride's the coolest. Web of Blades interacts with well. Heroic Lineage and
I mean, obviously, there is damage pump, but again, it's just. I'm a big fan of E1 Throttle. It's just without sort of inherent damage pump, I'm less excited about it. But again, I don't know what the better options are, right?
Anything on your notes from this one, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I do want to harken back to the Harden Pummel. Obviously, this is a really good tech piece right now. Having a 7 mid for 10 that can't be barrier shield, can't be showdown, can't be blocked by plus ultra. All these really strong defensive actions that we've got over the last couple of sets. This is something that Chris Bromley was doing on Eraserhead back in set 1. So I don't know if that unfun stuff mindset has brought it in for Nate. But it is definitely something that's been on my it's been on my mind for a while. But as far as Void Eraserhead goes, this is pretty much a snooze fest of a deck for me. It's not exciting. It's one of those decks that's going to sit there and live forever. By no means a bad deck. It's just not exciting to me. I've played against this deck, both winning and losing recently, and it can 50-minute game 1 is not what I sit down for. And much more interested in the death variant personally.
Yes, absolutely.
That's
one thing I just noticed is playing Stopping for Breakfast. So that ultra rare that definitely is not an ultra rare is actually seeing some play.
It was brought up. Stopping for Breakfast apparently has got some meta calls. If I'm considering playing Void next week, I need to go back and take a look at it. Villains Defeated is a very interesting one. Like I said, it seems like a deck that just wants to live forever. But
Villains Defeated was a standard in Eraserhead, right?
Yeah.
Well, Eraser always had that issue of, if you just throw me, I'm going to die. It's been an issue for Void Eraser for a long time, so you had to see. Like, locally, we had a Void Eraserhead player ages that was running nothing but villains and Confuse and stuff just to be able to live.
Yeah, that's the thing that was throwing me off. Like, what's missing from this deck? And it was like, it's the decoy duplicates. There's no decoy duplicates in this deck. And that's a very interesting tech choice to me. And if Nate wants to tell me why there's no decoy, I'm more than open to listen. But to me, it just feels like even as just a one-off in the main board, it can keep you alive, especially against throw, especially against these big attacks. It seems really strong.
What's the new one that does the same thing that I can't think of at the top of my head?
I can't remember, but it requires 2 momentum, which is a bit of a pain to get hold of at the minute with all the...
there's the action, right? The new action.
Yeah, it requires you to discard...
it's the flip set to 2 damage.
Oh, Broken Psyche. Andrew Holders also points out there's no Spooky in here, which seems interesting with all the speed reduction.
Yeah, I was literally just looking for Spooky.
4 Heroic Lineages seems good. Tape is a standard. No fusions, but fusion isn't a great card. Fighting for the Future and Broken Psyche. Yeah, Fighting for the Future requires 2 momentum, and Broken Psyche, I don't think is on Void.
No, it's not.
It's a good Chaos and Air.
Water.
Yeah, it's twice symbols, I believe. But no, it's a standard punches lineup with some nice spice stuff for Void. If I do end up taking...
Yeah, and I'm assuming the Eraserhead 2 in the side is for like the throw decks, right?
Yeah. The Confused in the side is for throw decks as well. Blood Curdle is for Endeavour, Fourth Kind, all those
The mirror.
And the mirror, yeah. Extra barrier shield seems good. Yeah, I can see why this got to top 16, but I can also understand why once it got to top 16, why it wasn't able to progress any further, because it's once you've seen the deck once, or with the new rules that you can actually see the deck, you kind of know what to expect.
Yeah.
No, that's again nothing against Nate DeWalt.
What knocked him out in tops?
Oh, I do not remember. Was it an overhaul? Or was Jero? Eraserhead 2 was for Jero. Sorry, like no worries, Andrew. So yeah, Eraserhead 2 was for Jero, which makes sense. Jero knocked out Mirio. No, Jero knocked out Tokiyami.
It was Mitchell that beat him, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah,
Mitchell.
it was Jiro. Yeah, and that makes sense. Like Jiro, I think generally is a not great match.
Yes, Jiro good, isn't it? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, we didn't get quite set, but yeah, it's a decent deck, and I can see what I got there, and it must have just been in with Jiro, just didn't see the counter pieces, which can happen. Unfortunately, as a 19 healther, if Jiro draws hot, you don't really have the answers needed.
Yeah, and again, if you're flashing stuff, you take away the enhanced step, like Eraserhead will struggle.
Exactly. Right, let's move on to number 13, Constantine. As Nate, I didn't have time to put these in orders because I was playing in the event. Constantine on Evil Mimic. This is one that caught a lot of people.
2 Mimics.
Yeah, we had the Chaos Mimic.
Sweet draft points.
I do not know enough about Mimic, but to say this, I've played against it a couple of times. But looking at the attack list, it seems decent. Wire Arrow is absolutely a beast in this. Electromagnetic Stomp just makes more than enough sense.
I mean, the only thing I can see compared to the Chaos one that did a lot better, he's playing a lot less percentage assets. Like the Chaos Mimic that went a lot harder, and that might just be the way you're supposed to play it with Mimic. I don't know.
I mean, the spamming more assets does make sense. Having access to box full of babies seems absolutely brilliant. Trigger is just absolutely nuts. Training weights again. I feel like you should be running a few more, but it depends on if the assets that you can run are quite good. The Nomu in the side is very interesting.
Yeah, like it feels like Nomu does not want to be playing 16 assets in his deck.
No, you can't really side enough out to justify it. But
no, I mean obviously, I guess you bring in the cooperation offers for them, but that feels like maybe it's my hedge against the dunk decks.
Teacup Gaming in the chat. Teacup Gaming chat is saying checking assets is the most important part of Mimic, because it turns you into an 8-hander. If you once you check it on offense and defense, you get to pick up an attack, which is looking at these attacks, you've got a breaker 1 block on high, you got a breaker 2 block on mid, and the rest are all just absolutely nuts as well. You could just keep picking up tongue whips to just absolutely do damage as well.
Yeah, like I feel like the percentage. I mean, obviously, yes, he did well and got top cuts, but I feel like if I'm playing Mimic, I want to play a much harder percentage of my assets, and it might be a case of there's just not good ones to play on Evil. I don't know. I haven't really checked.
The one thing I think is the biggest lost opportunity here is there's no trigger transformations, and I really feel that's how he kills. Being able to play trigger transformation, tongue whip.
Yeah, evil assets aren't great. He's playing no mimicry, which is weird. Whether that's just the case we didn't own anyone, but again, I'd play at least one of those. Mimicry seems really good as a one-off, at least.
Let's turn to the Master of Notes. Mike, what are your thoughts on Constantine's deck?
I'm not going to talk too much about this Mimic because I want to say a lot about the second place one. But I will say that we stand Mimic. We stand Mimic every day of the week.
I chose a nice sassy image for him for the deck list.
This is the first Mimic that I kind of looked at with Wire Arrow to stack trigger or babies when it hits to be able to guarantee the the response to be able to pick up whatever you want. The one thing with this list though is it's a lot of 2-ofs in the foundations, and I feel like when you're going to play in on such a limited number of foundations anyway, you really want to prioritize the important
ones. Yeah.
And make sure that you have those ones every game without fail, pretty much. And yeah, the lack of trigger transformation, it seems odd, but again, it is a plus ultra card, so it could have just come down to it's on, not had long enough to try and get them, and he was lucky enough to get the triggers. I know I have 3 trigger so far, and I've got
0, and I think I've got 6 transformations and 0 triggers.
Was there no on-site redemption for GenCon then?
The plus ultra 5 promos do not go on redemption.
Until the 18th.
The 18th.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That we've got them because they literally go up on the Friday before we have our event.
Should do, yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, if we get a redemption, hopefully they send one out. But
yeah, like I think if I was building this, I'd probably put in like a second League of Villains and a couple of Mimicry, and maybe even play a Battle Arena in main as well. Just to up that count.
League of Villains seems really important in this matchup because you don't really care about your foundations. You can commit one and commit it. Committing it,
and it's just so good. Again, cancels are very good. Like just cancelling an important, cancelling 100% ready or anything like that. Just
Andrew Holder, trigger transformation is so mid. You are correct. It is a mid attack. Good job. But
but I think his attack lineup looks fine to me. I almost even want to play a 4th Qualisatus trigger to almost try and always have one to pick up on defense when you check something.
There was on-site redemption if you needed it for your deck, but I didn't check it out. So apparently, so look, they might have been doing like a little cheeky. If you need it for your deck, we can give you plus ultra 5, but I don't quote me on that.
Also, quite often they do earlier in-person redemption than mail redemption. Also, the other thing, look at this deck list, is there's only 3 tongue whips, and it feels like tongue whip is a card you want to play 4 of or 0, and if you're a tongue whip deck, you probably want to play 4 of them. So 3 seems like a weird number.
Makes sense. The Tetra Tower Onslaught seems a bit weird because you're not playing it from other zones, so it's just you don't get the speed bonus. I guess it's another way of picking up the tongue whips.
Echo, right?
Yeah.
So you can pick up your assets you need to if you need to,
I guess, but yeah, no, it's a decent deck. It did really well to get to top 16. I've just Mimic isn't a character I've ever looked at or given much attention. I tried a test against an evil Mimic yesterday, and it just absolutely destroyed me. So clearly, it's playing at levels that are above me at the minute. But it seems really decent. I just have no idea how I would navigate it. It's going to get a lot of cards that I've kind of written off from playing, like House of Cards, Coping with Number 1, the cards that I kind of have never considered playing because I always think there's other better cards. But Mimic...
Because they don't have Chaos.
But when it comes to characters like Mimic, you have to build your deck and you have to play in such a different way than you do in other decks, and it's kind of like the All Might 3 thing of you have to adjust how you play to compensate for how Mimic's playing.
Yeah. Like looking at this list, there's certainly things that personally I would change. Like I'd probably play more cooperation offers. I would probably remove the bench presses. I'd play more assets. I'd play the 4th tongue whip. I'd probably play the 4th Qualisatus trigger. I'd remove the Aspie's friendship. I'd probably remove the coping. Cut House of Cards to a 1.
Any finishing thoughts on this deck before we move on to the next one? Tell us a no. So
not for me.
Well done, Constantine. You're clearly playing 3-dimensional chess while we're all playing checkers. Let's move on to the still reigning UK champion, Jacob Johnson. That joke's never going to die until we actually get just a UK Nationals by itself. Playing Tokiyami Fire.
I don't get it.
We only have EU Nationals now, so he is basically the de facto UK champion for the rest of the time.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, he won UK Nationals in 2019. which is the final.
Which was the last
Free
one.
hero.
So this is the King of Swiss Tokiyami Fire.
Yeah.
I just played against this deck in the national the Patriot. Yeah, apart from I don't think I didn't see any defrostings, but they might have been in there. But yeah, I legitimately just played against this deck, and those aggressive tempers were annoying, especially when they discarded 2 of them onto a freezer burn.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this seems like a very decent fire list. It's Tokiyami. It does things. Mike, you got any notes on this?
I mean, this is exactly the kind of deck I would expect from JJ at this point. Having seen the sort of decks he's played for years, he's always been a very, very strong aggressive player. And yeah, there's not much to say about the list. It's playing all the good fire cards. Lust for Battle is such for me, an unassumingly good card. When you look at it on paper, you're just like, it is what it is. But like, I've seen it in so many decks where it's like played as a just because it's a 1 diff, and then you blow it up to something, and then suddenly you're now failing your check, or
it's just so free, right? It's just very free.
Yeah, it's just the freest. It's just the freest check hack.
Playing it on
there's obviously lots of tricks you can do with it as well in this deck. Like, it's not just a case of I milled 5, I got 1 randomly, -1 to check, blah blah blah. Like, you've got the frozen, you've got freezer burn, you've got other ways of getting in during the turn. So that, there's clearly other things you can do with it. I love defrosting just in general as a card.
But yeah,
so like, I was a big fan of doing silly fury things with fire. So I might steal some of at least the foundation lineup stuff from this.
Being able to go Twisting Gazelle into Summon Dark Shadow, all your checks block against -1. Then blow up Frozen Lust to Battle with Frozen, committing a foundation, and giving another -1 to your check, because you've essentially got -3 to your next check because of the Frozen, and you've now got to deal with whatever else I'm going to throw at you as well.
The one of Hellflame Javelin's interesting. Like, it just feels like are you actually going to see it when it's relevant sort of thing? Like, I don't know whether that was just like a block zone coverage thing, or
I mean, I'd rather have it and let it get blocked and go and find one of my bigger attacks.
The block zones on this deck. Oof. Are you interested in blocking?
I haven't done it for the block zones, so would you like to go over what the block zones actually are?
Well, out of 54 cards, he's got 10 high, 12 low, and 32 mids. He must have dodged Mirios all day long, or just killed them before it mattered.
Yeah, that's the big thing. But yeah, essentially, I think we're now seeing why the was it the Mirio or the Jiro? It was someone died in 16th. Jiro took them up because a lot of people are just playing off zone good stuff, and Jacob managed to get King of Swiss. That's a hell of an achievement, but fell to the King of Swiss curse and went out first in top 16.
Yeah.
I do like this list. It's a list that I've not quite seen before, but it isn't the kind of list I'd play. It kind of seems like the kind of list I'd play, going off the attacks and the way it's running, but it seems to be all in. I'm going to kill you very quickly, and the longer Tokiyami wants to get more powerful the longer the game goes on, whereas this deck seems to get weaker the longer the game goes on because of how much it's actually discarding and drawing. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel.
It's a sugar rush deck. It wants to kill you. Like, it's like Tokiyami can play defense, right? He's got the ice storms, he's got the ice walls, like he's got the breaker blocks there to still. And like Tokiyami was never going to be playing this ultra. He never plays the ultra defensive sort of Momo style wall deck. It's I'm going to block enough that you feel like you have to overextend and try and eke out those points of life, and then that minus damage and every attack is going to add up. and then you're going to get me to like 5, and then I'm going to swing back my quick to axe online and kill you.
Exactly. I've kind of got nothing else to say. This. Anything from you, Mike?
I mean, it's just the I'm here for a good time, not a long time type of deck.
Yeah.
Which is what Fire Tokoyami has been for the longest time. I'm glad to see it back rather than just chaos all the time. It's nice to see fire actually represented.
Yeah, the sideboard seems really interesting. It seems to have a few more defensive options as well as more offense with the seizing, which seems kind of cool. I guess that's to kind of make Twisting Azure just go nuts with.
Won't count, right? Doesn't matter.
Seizings won't. Concentrate might. Barrier Shield might. If you play the second enhancement Barrier Shield. But yeah, it's a Tokiyami list. We see people gone over them absolutely. There's no real like standout. Oh, that's an amazing card. Where was it before? In this kind of list, but apart from Lust for Battle, I think Lust for Battle is like Mike was saying, is a great addition in set from set 5 because it triggers from the Tokiyami effect, it triggers from latent skills effect.
Yeah, and you get the season brawlers as well, like just that extra draw.
Yeah, there's a lot of draw here because cool. You're gonna break me with an attack. Season brawler says I get to draw.
Playable while committed.
Yes.
In the game.
I've got I think 2 XRs for my case. I was like, yep, I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna have to try and play this now. Great job, Jacob, King of Swiss. Absolutely love it. Still not forgiving you for knocking me out the HLC. Let's move over to Maxwell. Maxwell on Recovery Girl Life. Repeated Smash deck, as is tradition when you're playing at Symbols.
Yeah. I mean, it's just Recovery Girl. It just bores me so much.
The focused attack in the side seems interesting, and I'm just looking. There's a lot of mids.
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's what it was doing before, right? And like, the switch to Overhaul. Like, I don't know when he's going to want that. But I don't know. I
mean, possibly if the
I'm
overwhelmed.
Not a fan of Recovery Girl at all. It's good. It's just
long.
I hate the fact it exists.
I guess you change to Overhaul when you've been overwhelmed by the aggressive power. So, like, if you're against Jacob on Tokiyami, if you're against these very fast Jiros who are doing more damage than you can heal, being able to put them on a clock as well a bit better and be able to also still heal seems really good. Terrifying Injury is an interesting one. That doesn't often see play. Only 2 cooperation offer. Only 2 keeping Eri safe. That's a weird one for me. I think that we should, and only 2 release that, but 4 tight-lipped.
Again, I think it's just more Recovery Girl wants more, like, value out of its foundations, right?
Yeah.
The weirdest for me, the weirdest 2 of in the deck is Bewildered. Like, that's like a key piece to Life Recovery Girls. I'm never dying between that and Ruthless Mockery.
Yeah.
So, like, only have it at 2 of. Like, if you don't have it when you need it, then you can still die. I like the ingenuity of the attacks. Like, it's not just what we've been seeing for like the past 2 sets, all mids. Here's focused attack. It is
make a throw, blah 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 blah.
It is playing some natural throws. Copy Harden. I'm always a fan of being able to recur certain things from your stage.
Yeah.
But I'm sure both of you know my general opinions on Recovery Girl.
Yeah. But fair play to the players that were playing Recovery Girl in GenCon. They played fairly quickly. Some of the games were over before the featured game, which was really interesting. But I do like this list.
You have to. You can't go in unpracticed and therefore like take forever to play Recovery Girl. You have to understand that you need to be able to play quickly and understand what you're doing. or else you're just gonna, draw the first 3 rounds and then you're out, like sort of thing.
I do like the idea of playing repeated smash, checking a 5, using bench press. Is it bench press that lets you commit? No. But yeah, carbo loading. Yeah, using carbo loading and then just readying the foundation back up with repeated smash. So you've still got its effect to go as well.
Yeah. I mean, repeated smash is just bonkers.
Yeah, repeated smash is absolutely nuts. I really hope I get mine in the mail. It has been 2 weeks. Not happy with the Royal Mail at the minute. But well done to Maxwell. It's Recovery Girl. Mike has some choice words for anyone who plays Recovery Girl, but you got there in one of the biggest, probably the biggest hour release so far, apart from webcam. For Maxwell, we have Jonah Collins. Jonah Collins on Rapper Fire, the first rapper to make top cuts. Not the first top 16 rapper, because Zayn did get into top 16, but unfortunately,
he didn't make top cuts.
He got 9th. He got 9th, which is a shame. We were all rooting for Zayn because he's a decent guy.
Yes.
This is a tiny list of death.
Yeah.
That is all.
Who did not get points? I think I got points for Chris, right? Who picked rapper? Oh no, it's bloody Adam. Obviously, It was Adam. Yeah, Adam with his round 2 pick finally get him some points in the draft. It's interesting. This sort of I'm going to kill you sort of deck only playing the 16 attacks in like a very tight 50.
Well, you say it's only 15 attacks, but bullet punches counts for 8.
Yeah, bullet punches is like 7 attacks in one. So.
Yeah. Because you play the Blue Flame Palm Strike, you get your momentum, you play bullet punches, you echo it, you add the Blue Flame Palm Strike to your momentum, and then you just play another bullet punch.
Yeah, it's very. It's very Route 1, right? It just wants to do exactly its thing. The other interesting thing is there's no zeros.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. There is no. Quick to axe. This is a deck of I am killing you. I am not worried about my defense.
Well, it's just like that turn 1 build. Like you'd think with a very aggressive deck that wants to do it, but just no zeros.
Press confidence to make things cheaper. Conf backup for draw. Late skills for draw. Prehensile Tail just because.
Big Appetite is a weird one because it's never going to be. Well, I say never. Rarely, it's going to be a draw one.
But it's still a filter.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on this deck, Mike?
Well, you two know how high I am on Rapper.
Yeah.
I've been singing his praises since previews. And I think you guys know that Fire Rapper was the first deck I built from set 5.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And it's quite similar to this list, actually. It's all the I think it's about 56 cards I was running. I'm maining the maximum hardenings, and I'm just running all the draw and all the gas to just kill you as fast as possible.
Yeah, window shopping's interesting actually. Just as it's an extra. I mean, that's again, it's just I'm a 7-hand that sort of thing.
The biggest issue I see with this deck is that it has quite a low damage output on its attacks. Like it's not put outside of bullet punches, you're not getting a lot of stats on things, and you're only getting stats on bullet punches if everything is going right.
Yeah.
So it is not it doesn't feel like this is just gonna explode you on turn 2. It's more of I'm gonna get you low in a turn and then hope I survive and kill you on the following turn.
It's a bit of a glass cannon.
Having said all that, I mean, it is a bit bullet punches or bust, but with the 4 latent skill, 4 big appetite, 4 quality of a backup in a 50 card deck, there's a good chance you're going to see one.
Yeah, that's exactly what I put here. It's gonna without multiple bullet punches, it's gonna struggle. But because of all the draw and the filter, it is gonna get there, and we saw it get there. And I think one of the most fun matches on stream was watching Jonah play against Jesse Savini with his Suicide You Hojo deck.
Oh no!
Which was such an entertaining match. I mean, it was over. It was over in the blink of an eye, but it was very entertaining, and it was great to see both of those characters represented and to such a strong showing. I know Jesse lost. I think he 5-3 in the end, and just missed out on top cuts.
Something like that, yeah. Go back to what you were saying about the no zeros. My head just went. Bullet punches are a 2 check. So if you check a bullet punches on your third foundation going first, you fail.
Yeah.
That it's usually when you're playing 2 checks, you kind of build around. Okay, what if I check it early?
Well, they say no threes, right? So he just has to play 2-1-1. And hope on the third
yeah,
one.
that's what I'm saying. Basically, on the third one, you're going, okay, if I check a 2 here, I'm going to have a bad time next. But then Rapper also goes, oh, I have no foundations. Still going to kill you.
Yeah, like Rapper doesn't, he can kill you on a 3 build quite happily, but yeah, it's interesting there's no zeros. But again, fire zeros aren't great, and maybe that was the call. It's just like, fire zeros, they aren't good enough. I'm just not going to play them.
I mean,
like the only real one is quick to act.
Yeah.
You're kind of vaguely happy to play.
But I mean, quick tax is great, especially with the bullet punches, because you can just keep making them really hard to deal with. But as Mike said, it's the damage output. There's no Revel in his masterpiece. There's no actual way to pump up the damage outside of Sugar Rush power up, which
I mean, because I know Zane's list was playing some amount of Revels. Again, just to get that sort of free damage.
Exactly. It's definitely an interesting one, and it's great to see Rapper in the top cuts. It's one that people. It's a character that's been circling the top cuts for a long time, and finally someone's broken through in a very big event. So it's absolutely amazing. Great job, Jonah.
Yeah, I'm extremely happy to see Rapper, and again, it's fire represented, which we've not seen a lot of.
No.
So seeing it at all. And obviously, this deck is great, and it's very slim. It's going to do what it wants to do. It's aiming to do that every single game, and just go from there. It's just it's missing just ever so slightly something for me.
So moving on to 9th place, which is Brian Garza on a character we haven't seen in a while, Ochako 2 on Death. It's been a hot minute since we've seen an Ochako 2 top event. Looking at this list, it seems really defensible with the showdowns, struggling for studies, but also very deadly with the Val Seizing, Hulking Grimace. It's just a fury good stuff.
Yeah, I'm just looking. Is Learning to Harden the only set 5 card here? Am I going mad? Yeah.
In the sideboard, there's a couple. There's Senai.
Okay. Which is a strange choice, but sure.
But no, yeah. Learning to Harden's a great one as well with the way that with what they're playing. Especially with go for the win, it's draw 1, build 2, which seems absolutely great.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, it's very similar. The whole stun grenade, nitro, Grimace, Cyclone, kind of Chaco 2 we've seen before.
One of
but
Spooky.
Again, there's not too much in terms of innovation here, I guess.
No, it's a very aggressive deck. It's got some decent defense, but I don't know how it handles Mirio, and I don't know how it handles Throw.
I think it just tries to kill them before that happens, right? I mean, I'd probably want to play more League Invitations just because I love that card, but Spooky seems an odd choice because I don't know how they're reducing speed down to make it relevant.
I mean, you've got speed reduction on face with Ochako, which is pretty fair. But yourself, Mike, any notes on this Ochako 2 list?
It looks pretty standard. It looks a lot like the set 4 list that Christos Panos won with.
Yeah.
I may have got that slightly wrong, but it looks like there's not much set 5 innovation, so to speak, outside of Learning to Harden, which I know you said seems great with the go for the win, but it feels out of place here to me. Like it doesn't have there's one of Turn to Dust and the 4 Go for the Win that can trigger the response. Like I'd want something foundation based that I can blow it up with defensively to get that draw if I need it. Yeah, because there's nothing better than going, I'll -2 speed, I'll blow it up, I'll draw a card, or I've got what I need now, I'll block. Cool. You're not killing me now. And again, like Richard said, I would definitely want more League Invitation here. That's, for me, the best card in set 4 by a mile.
Yeah, that's fair. And it's one that would definitely fit into here, making the checks harder, being able to commit down foundations. How does Impact Cyclone Nitro Ignition? Yeah, it's just the one of Turn to Dust does feel weird.
I guess you can draw off the Impact Cyclone enhance as well. But
yeah,
still doesn't feel great to me.
The Stun Grenade is the one that feels the weirdest to me here, because you're really only ever going to get +1, maybe +2 if you get Nitro and Stun Grenade together, but you're a 5-hander, so it
doesn't matter. Stun Grenade is just a cantrip, right? You don't. It's a stun 1 cantrip. You don't care about anything else. Like the rest of it is gravy. You really doesn't. You don't have to be clearing stuff from your card pool. And like you do it on face, right?
How do we feel about the Night Eye in the sideboard? I don't quite know when they'd bring this in.
Yeah.
Personally, I feel this is the one where it should be a Nomu kind of thing.
I could see that. I'm a Night Eye fan personally. So I like to see that he's got some sort of representation in Tonko, even if it is just in sideboard. But yeah, I don't know where exactly it fits, but it is there. Maybe there's something we're all just missing.
If Brian sees this, we don't know, and wants to tell us why Night Eye went there, it might be a local meta play, it might be from testing, but I'm struggling to see why that isn't a Nomu, or possibly even just a side into Eraserhead with some erasers.
Or like a Bakugo 2 or something.
Bakugo 1? No.
Or Bakugo 1 even, that's the one I mean.
But yeah, Turn to Dust in the side seems decent. Forcing Surrenders, I love Forcing Surrender. It does so much. But yeah, great to see Refreshing Slice get on there. Brian told me Night Eye was...
Maybe it's something like a Recovery Girl, right? Where you're just saying, I'm actually going to bill you out with Night Eye.
Believe it...
Stuff, I don't care.
Believe it or not, Brian... Andrew Holder just messaged in the chat, just went... Brian told me Night Eye was for slower decks that could stall him out, so Recovery Girl with that. He tried it in Swiss, but it didn't work, so he stopped. So yeah, he tried to Night Eye in the Swiss, but that's one of the things you build your sideboard for what you think is going to work, and sometimes you never actually get this used, doesn't go the way you want.
Yeah, I mean my sideboards are just usually I fling some cards in and hope they work. So
that's fair. Right, great job, Brian. Great to see Ochako getting in there. We love a bit of the old waifu tax in there. Let's move over to Alex, who's our first overhaul on Evil. So this is the first of the top 8, and this is the Nebulous Stare repeat deck, from what I remember.
So this is basic. This is overhaul kind of, right?
Yeah, you hit with Nebulous Stare, you build it down, and then you play Nebulous Stare every single turn.
Yeah.
I think they lost because their opponent just understood that and was like, okay, all my throw hate goes on Nebulous Stare. If you can kill me with Invincible Clasp, you get to kill me with Invincible Clasp.
No, they got paired into Recovery Girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, he got paired into Travis on Recovery Girl, and that's not a favourable matchup.
No.
I do like this deck though.
Yeah, I think this is a really good
Human Garbage. As we were mentioning earlier, I'm not really a fan of that card.
I love Human Garbage for one reason, because I can use it on Pride Month to point out that even human garbage is an ally. So if you're not an ally for LGBTQ, you're worse than human garbage.
I really didn't want to laugh at that.
Got him. It's a bad joke, but it's also a very good joke. Blood Colour Sideboard just makes a lot of sense on Evil Overhaul. I'm very sad there's no impact recoil, because I feel like it's the Nebulous Stare of defense.
Yeah, I could see that, but it's very high in on the throws and the support in that.
Yeah.
And just general good attacks like Tongue Whip.
Chronostasis Trigger just makes so much sense here. I'm surprised it's only a 3 of.
It's sort of almost it's a weird one with Chronostasis Trigger because it's almost better to block with, right? Like it's not high statted, but your opponent always almost has to block it or else they get sealed.
Well, that's just it. It's a 3/4, potentially 3/6 that changes zone. Denies you access to one of your foundations next turn, and basically says, "Yeah, deal with it." And with, he's not running your favorite foundation unless you build it down there, Mike.
Yeah, no, I have notes. I have notes.
But basically, it's great on offense and it's great on defense, and especially when you are in the evil symbol, you just get to do so much of it. And when you're playing Tongue Whip, you're happy to go, you're going to have to block this. And you're going to make my Tongue Whip a lot harder to deal with. So let's move over to Mike and his notes, since we went on to mention his favourite foundation.
So, I'm really excited to see Evil Overhaul specifically doing really well. This is something that me and Grant Padley have been working on since Set 5 release. He's a huge Evil fanboy and has been since he started playing the game many years ago. So we really wanted to make something work, and I've been talking privately about my love for Nebulous Stare since the start of Set 4.
Before this set,
Set 4, yeah. Before this set, yeah. Set the top card of your discard pile, and use it with various different supports was fantastic. But Evil really pushes that to another level in Set 5, thanks to two very, very good cards, which for some reason are not in this list, which I feel like would have made this deck a lot better, is both Loving Father and Reconstruction. Both of these cards play around the top card of your discard pile. Reconstruction will build it face down for you, and Loving Father is if the top card of your discard pile is a copy of this attack, you add it to your hand. So obviously put Nebulous Stare top of your discard, give it 2 damage, then Loving Father to add it to your hand, and you've got a second one. Or you can add up a Chronostasis Trigger, a Tongue Whip, or whatever attack you want to then build face down off Reconstruction. And I feel like if this deck had those things, it would have just pushed it ever so slightly to another level. But I do really...
You're also not playing League Invitation.
Well, this deck is very much all in on the I'm going to make massive throws, so I can let it off for that a little bit.
Yeah. You got the sideboard seems quite defensive. Runaway, Showdown, Blood Curdle to stop people being able to mess about with the throws.
Well, yeah, but also like League Invitation almost gives you that snipe / stun 2 for things like your Walklings, things like that.
I like the Reconstruction Wrecker here because it lets you, if you've got multiple stairs down, it makes it a lot harder to deal with.
Yeah, I'm just what would I cut for League Invitation in this? Because I feel like because of how card hungry Overhaul is, Excited for Blood, you almost have to play. And playing Sticky Balls. Like, do we care about Sticky Balls?
I mean, in the punch meta, Sticky Balls just reads commit -4 speed. That's a back alley haymaker.
I know. And high always has far too many high blocks that you actually want. I'd just cut the human garbage because I hate that card. But I know Mike doesn't agree with me.
I mean, cutting a 1 for a 3 seems bad.
Oh yeah, I'd tweak stuff to try and jam in some league invitation, but
I mean, it got to top 8. It did its job. Got the nice.
I'm not trying to bag on the deck list at all.
No,
I'm just like I want to play it.
It's just how you would play it. I think this is a really cool list, and I made at the beginning of the season I made an evil overhaul, but I went more down the focusing on echo route and more defensive options with the build. So I always go to impact recoil, but this seems like the exact opposite end of the spectrum as to what I was building, and this is a overhaul using his ability to his almost perfection on I'm going to kill you with my attacks.
Yeah. I also do wonder whether we could snuck a second teamwork in there, because again, teamwork seems very good with the way the the attack lineup is and all the throws.
Possibly, it does make sense. So what the one of each? I'd like to see 2 teamwork or 2 showdown, maybe not just the one of each. Any final notes from you there, Mike?
Honestly, with you mentioning Echo, I think that's a really good point. This deck could definitely play Echo. It has momentum use with Invincible class to be able to cancel things like wall killing and stuff like that. I think it does. And having something like Echo to make use of momentum is good. But we're in a world where everyone's running Capture Evil Doer, so
exactly. But
So you saying they should take momentum to use Invincible class, Mike?
I mean, again, if you're not playing against Capture Evil Doers, yeah.
Right.
I think it'd be pretty good against if your opponent has a Walkling in play and you need 1 attack to kill them.
I mean, I love Facepalm Takedown in here because it forces the use of resources, but that could also just very nicely be a Wing Nomu or a Tetra Terror.
I wouldn't go lower on the throws personally.
Facepalm Takedown was the throw. I was thinking of a different one, but yeah.
Yeah, like 10 throws is like the minimum. Personally, I'd be having Reconstructed Wrecker in there as well, because I'd be running, Reconstruction, things like that.
You'd be running play a throw, play Reconstruction, build down the throw, play the throw again.
No, you're thinking Hand of Confession.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I think.
Hand of Confession is definitely my favorite foundation from the overhaul starter overall, but I don't know if it really fits anywhere at the minute. I really wanted to, but all of my Hand of Confession decks have been kind of mid.
Okay, well, great job to Alex. This is one of the most interesting overhaul decks we've actually got to have a look at, and it did its job. It threw to death, and it kind of like what Tam did with Izuku Midoriya 1. It caught people off guard because not everyone had enough throw hate to stop this absolute monster train. Let's move over.
So easy fix. Cut 4 human garbage, play 2 more brute strength, 2 league invitation. Done.
So let's move over to David Thomas on the Amajiki Chaos list that managed to get through. I believe Tam was also on Amajiki Chaos. There was a couple more going around. It made it to top cut in Oceania, and it's now made it to top cut in USA. I mean, I know Chaos, and this just looks like a very decent list. With the amount of charges, I'm going to say it should have a double jab pummel. Just going to have to put it there. It's got a decent amount of charges in there to get over there, but...
Yeah, but it doesn't care, right? It just wants to... It's not stringing. It's not playing the Giro game. It's not trying to do what double jab pummel wants to do. This is... You're just building up You're playing a defensive game and building up a steam of momentum with your pokes and just flinging stuff out there, and then eventually you'll get there. But double jab pummel isn't doing what this deck wants to do. It's double jab pummel is a lot more aggressive than I think this Chaos Amajiki plays. If you look at its foundation lineup, he's playing 4 struggling, 3 broken psyche, 4 release.
Apple agrees with you. It doesn't need the double jab. I'm saying I would definitely be running double jab, but that's me.
Again, I just think they're different decks. Like double
Yeah.
jab goes in a different deck. It's not this. I think I like this attack lineup. I'd almost play the 4th Claw Stopper somewhere, because I think that card's very, very good and very important in this deck. Like I'd probably trim an Ice Storm for it, but I don't hate 4 Ice Storm just as a very defensive breaker too.
The one of Cool and Tough and Levitate makes sense. 3 Broken Psyche when you're playing Abajiki is just, you're always going to have momentum.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, you could easily play 4 of those, to be honest.
No Easily Excited is a weird one personally, because, extra speed kills.
Again, it's just trying to have your foundations be more relevant, right? Like, what do you cut from your 0? No, it's got 4 Easily Excited. What are you on about?
Oh, it does. I'm going blind, yeah, it's right there. Above the basic drink. Yeah. I do apologise.
Yeah, like one of Levitate, one of the one of them I'm missing, and I would probably play him here as a Surge. I like playing a one-off Surge in this sort of list because, so the boy's been playing a lot with Chaos Amajiki because it's very kind of, it was in theory Denki adjacent, and that's his favorite character. So we want to try Amajiki, and I like the idea of playing a one-off Surge just so we can say, well, my Indiscriminate's now got EX2.
Yeah, and you're always going to have so much momentum with Amajiki. Let's move up. Let's go over to Mike and his thoughts and notes.
I have some questions. The OC list, did that come from? I heard that came from Tam.
I believe so.
Yeah, it was. I believe it was a modified one of Tam's.
I know I watched Tam's video a while ago on Chaos Amajiki. Which was running a one of Blitz Rush and a Surge and things like that.
Yeah.
And this list looks a lot like that with some changes.
Yeah, so the Ice Storm being 4 of man, I think it's a slightly better list as well.
Okay, so the Amajiki Chaos that did Oceana was 3 Chicken Kicks, 4 Claw Stoppers, 4 Vast Hybrid, 3 Jolts, 3 Indiscriminates, 2 Gravity Lifts, 1 Ice Storm, and 1 Blitz Rush.
Yeah, so that sounds relatively similar to what I saw before. So I think this is somewhat akin to that with a few changes. Probably 4 Broken Psyche just because that card is extremely good defensively.
Yeah.
4 is not hurting for momentum.
4 Broken Psyche was what was being run at Oceana. Feeling Cute, which isn't in this list, was also being run, which is a great deadlock out.
Yeah.
Surge was being run as a one of.
Yeah, I think Surge is probably the biggest lacking card here for exactly what Rich said, saying, oh, suddenly this giant attack I have has EX2 and I'm going to shovel all this momentum into it.
The other big differences are in the Oceana list there was 2 encouraging training partners in Irrefutable, which Irrefutable does seem pretty decent to that it should be
He's playing the training partners in the side, which is reasonable.
Yeah. It's just fair, yeah. I mean, I think
he's effectively got resets in Sunny to the big 3, right? In the main.
Minus speed for each of your momentum, right?
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing for me is the lack of chicken kick.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a 4 of, but it definitely, my experience with Amajiki is that card just kills people out of nowhere.
I was hyping up Chicken Kick from the moment it was released, and everyone was saying, oh, it's just not going to do anything. I was like, it's going to kill.
No, I'm kind of iffy on it.
It is going to kill.
I feel like it's a 1 or 2 of that you want to throw as a poke, and you don't care about the speed, you don't care if they block it, you just want to get into your momentum to use the enhance. That's how it feels to me.
See, I'm similar. It's a 1 or 2 of, but it's a 1 or 2 of that's going to kill you.
Yeah. There's so many silly little enhancers you can do in Chaos just to let it keep ticking over, and it can just really get to the point where it just goes, nope, die.
I like the one of Seafood Slugger. I like that card. I think it's probably a one of. Because it's first 4 minutes momentum, so you only ever really want to see the one.
Kenshin87 says there are enough off-turn enhances in some decks to get it mega fast. Exactly. You can literally sit there and go, oh, I'll do this to no effect. Yours, and they go pass.
I think basically the chicken kit kind of slots are the ice storms, so it's just playing a bit more defensive. And I get that. But I think I'd want to play the 4th claw stopper.
The 4 ice storms over the one that was being running in Oceania definitely says this is being a bit more defensive. The concentrate main board says that they are very worried about actions messing about with their attacks. But the Tokiyaki and the sideboard seem only as a one-off seems very interesting. I guess you have got the gain 2 health ability on it as well, but
it just feels very low impact for a sideboard card.
Yeah,
like what's that doing?
Exactly. When you could have put a second decoy in there,
could just have been space for what he had on him.
That's true. Yeah. The second concentrate, but as Apple points out, being able to cancel capture lever duels with concentrate is a very powerful move.
I think the biggest thing about concentrate is runaway. Because runaway is after the block, is after you block or not, you lose the health, and then oops, you're dead. Canceling runaway just wins you the game.
You lose 5 to the indiscriminate, and then you cancel the runaway, and then they take the 19 that they chose not to block.
Yeah, and you just won the game because of it.
Yeah.
Runaway is such a powerful defensive action that doesn't see enough play yet, probably because of how it was released, but that's another subject.
I don't own any yet. It's also good against random things like Futures Now, stuff like that.
So
there's plenty it does.
Teacup Gaming actually has David as a local, and they're saying it's a combo of offensive and defensive package because you can deal damage with Ramajiki, then play Indiscriminate, play Ice Storm, have 3 attacks, and block when needed. Breaker 2 is also insane. Yeah, Breaker is possibly the most powerful keyword in the game. I absolutely love it, and it can turn a turn where your opponent was sure they were going to kill you and go, that's completely messed up my maths.
Yeah, this lineup looks very similar to the list I was working on with the boy, right? It was just we were playing less Ice Storms, we're probably playing, I think, a couple of chicken kicks, you're playing the 4th claw stopper. But obviously no runaways, no concentrates. I think only 1 manifest because I only own 1 manifest. Stupid SRs. And just the little things I think I would love to see a one-off surge in this list.
Yeah, I think...
I'm not a huge UQ agency for trainees fan, it's fine.
It's good against Breaker.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah, that's it.
When you get barrier shielded against Eraserhead and they go, cool, I'll Breaker 2 there, and you go cancel it, and then they go Breaker 1, so I'll take the Breaker 1 over the Breaker 2.
Well, you cancel both.
Right? Yeah, you cancel both.
Basically.
Changing a Breaker 3 into a Breaker 1 feels great.
Well, no, it doesn't change the breakers, right? It just says I get to play a foundation, and it doesn't mess around with my stuff. It's fine. I'd play a surge in that slot over that one. Or maybe even Trimmer struggling or something like that. But
no, 4 struggling studies is always the way to go.
No, I'd probably I don't want to I'm not trying to badmouth these or something, but I'd want to fit the 4th Broken Psyche, and I'd want to fit at least 1 Surgeon.
No, it seems like a bit
more. I don't know how I feel about Levitate.
I think the Levitate should be the Surge, but Levitate,
Levitate is so good.
Fair enough, but it's we've got another finish.
Because you have so much momentum, it just turns into extra blocks. They might not be the best blocks, but they are blocks. And as Teacup says, wanting to be more defensive, then Levitate just lets you get there. It's a 1x in every single deck I build on those symbols for that very reason. It's just good.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. We haven't really. I think it might get worse if momentum does become more prevalent, because the biggest thing at the minute is Capture Videos has got people off momentum, but if Amajiki and these other momentum-based decks take off, we might see the Exploding Pride meta come in and Levitate get a little less relevant, but that's the great thing about this game. The meta shifts so quickly. It's like we can look at what happened at GenCon and it's like, yeah, we can guarantee that's not going to happen next week. But no, well done, David Amajiki. Absolutely love to see Amajiki getting up there.
Yeah, lovely guy. I met him playing at the HLC in the set 4 preview thing, and I think we opened our packs opposite each other when building our decks. I think he opened a much better pool than I did.
Yeah, that's really cool. Moving over to the one of Mirio that made into Top Cut.
Yeah.
4 Capture Videos main board. The most interesting thing for me in this deck is Robert just went, yeah, I don't need a sideboard. I'm going to either kill you or I'm going to die off what I put in this deck.
Well, he's playing a sideboard in his main deck. He's playing a 72 card deck, which seems insane. Again, he's playing in a 72 card deck. He's playing 2 Phantom Threats, which is obviously one of the better cards you can see to lead off with. It's like, are you gonna see it all the time? Probably not. Obviously these big decks like this and the Todoroki deck have done very well, but I'm just like, could you not have just trimmed 20 cards?
You got draw off Back Alley, you've got draw off Valiant, you've technically got some kind of draw off Harden Jab.
Yeah, it's just I kind of feel like in a 72 card deck, those 2 copies of Phantom Threat almost may as well not be there, you know?
Carpool to work in Mirio seems really good because you can block with it, get it into momentum, use Mirio's ability with it, discard it, replace it in the momentum.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that the only Mirio that made top cuts is the one that I think we should cut 20 cards from. I'm guessing, obviously the field must have just been prepared for Mirio as they should have been going into this, right? You know, having seen the results of the last couple, everyone should have been, and obviously were prepared for it, for Mirio. So maybe this was built more for a longer game. I don't know.
Apple says Guy followed the Garrett Brett formula for building decks, but didn't get the memo that Mirio isn't quite as good, isn't quite that defensive.
Yeah, I mean, there's again just one broken psyche.
I can understand why it isn't in here, but at the same time, I would love to see some rejuvenating smashes in here.
Mm-hmm.
It's a draw too, because when I was playing Mirio, my biggest annoyance was you just burn through your hands so quickly. So
yeah,
Back Alley's Valiant Assault's rejuvenating, being able to keep your hands stacked seems really good. Because you just want to keep punching, and then if you can clear your card pool with Capture Leverdoers, that's even better.
Yeah, again, maybe he was playing it not that kind of, I'm going to take 3 turns in one, turn 2, turn 3, and kill you that way. Maybe he was just playing it as almost like a longer grind you out Mirio. Or I'm going to take some in, and I'm going to keep flinging punches, and I don't know. Obviously, he did very well.
The one attack I do love in here that I don't think other Mirios are quite running, Plummeting Punch. With Lemillion at the big 3, which is unique, and he's running 3 of it, which is really cool. You play it on a high, you get the +1 damage from Lemillion, you shift it to a mid with Mirio, you give it the +1 speed, you then flip a foundation, you get +2 more speed, you get it to a low, and you get 2 more damage from Lemillion. So it then becomes is it a 3, 5, 6 low for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? 6 low for 8 seems really good.
I mean, I think actually the main thing about this is it's the deadlock threat on it.
Yeah,
that's a very real deadlock, right?
Plummeting Punch is one of the best. That is the definition of what good should have as deadlock. It's absolutely insane. Even as just running it as a 2 of the deadlock and that being able to commit one, flip one, and destroy one is just so brutal. Mike, any notes on the Mirio? Oh
yeah. I'm gonna. I'll start with the good. I really like that the Mirio is playing Broken Psyche and Male Bonding. I know these aren't the most high of number of cards in the deck, but I like the fact that it is playing those. It allows him to be a little more defensive without necessarily having a hand, because he's gone in so hard. So I like that there. Now, this list kind of looks like the BMI Buster list. It's running Velocity Punch, it's running Carpool to work, but there's no BMI Busters. So that's like the first big omission to me with this list. It looks like it should have BMI Busters. And if that's the one attack that got cut, I'm a little confused over something like Hard and Chop. But this is where I'm gonna be a little controversial.
Oh.
And I will die on this hill. I don't care how many times I lose to this deck. I will die on this hill. I don't think Texas Smash is the best way to play Mirio.
No, I agree with that. You don't need damage. You don't need the discard.
No,
Every list.
I agree.
Texas Smash. Every list is playing Valiant Assault. Every list is playing Back Alley Haymaker. And I don't think that any of those cards are the best for Mirio. Back Alley, for me, unless you're playing a lot of stun, is become feels bad in a world of keeping Ares safe. It can't be fixed. Gotchas. All these zero diffs that are running around at the minute. Texas and Valiant are very exploitable. And we don't have to worry about One with Nature anymore, so Fate Shield becomes a much better card again. Plumbing Punch, fantastic. The exact reasons you said, Brett. It's got one of the best deadlocks going. It's got a fantastic block. And it hits all 3 zones in Enhanced Step Fall 1,000,000 with Big Free. I just don't think this is the way that everybody should be playing Mirio. Maybe I will try and prove that next weekend at the RLE if I really want to play. If I really want to play Mirio, but I don't really want to play Mirio.
But yeah, I agree with the Texas Smash. Like in my Deku 2, like it's a very similar thing. It's just like you don't need the extra damage that Texas is giving you because you're doing it on face. So it's just giving up extra resources to sort of win more. I know Nathan will probably hate us bad mouthing Texas because he's married to the card. But yeah, I just don't. It's just an unnecessary stress on your resources. You just fall into a trap of like, well, it's got a button to press. I'll fling the card to Texas, and then they're just like, okay, cool. I'll just block stuff, and you just on your hand.
Yeah, it's not the Ojiro 2 where you were trying to kill people turn 2. Mirio is defensible enough that you don't have to go for the turn 2 kill, and Texas discarding a card from your hand just feels bad in Mirio because you don't have the same sort of draw power. You have got especially if you cut the Valiant Assault as well. My only criticism of this deck, and it's one that really annoys me to say, because as much as I love Practical Studies and it's got a great deadlock, and in Mirio it does do some work for the first attacks, that should be a unrivaled combatant. It's better block zone, same cost, and it just does so much more work in Mirio than any other deck.
I'd agree with you with unrivaled combatant if there was 4 Phantom Threat. The fact there's not 4 Phantom Threat makes unrivaled combatant not quite as important. Because the key with that card is the fact that it lets you Phantom Threat to momentum even if you get erased on your first attack.
Yeah.
Mirio Expert in the chat, Apple, is saying this is the least favourite list of the ones that have topped so far. But it might just be because nobody was expecting a 72 card Mirio list. It was able to get there. It's not a deck anyone was kind of prepared to go up against. Mirio's been kind of lean and tight and more aggressive, whereas this is kind of taking a step back and being a bit more defensible as well with the size and block zones of the deck. And it clearly got there, so we can't complain. And
and that's in a field that obviously were prepared for Mirio, right?
Exactly. And
So
to make it to the top 8 as well. So when you get to the 16, it's the best 16 who have also prepared for Mirio still being able to get through.
I mean, it's obviously it's done well, and Texas Smash does allow you to be more explosive. It's just personal opinion. I don't think that's the best way to play Mirio, and I'll die on that hill until the end of days.
That makes a bit of sense.
Let's say it's clear.
You've joined the Tim Keefe Kill Sacred Cows Club.
Let's move over to Mitchell Seminio. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Jiro
Semino or Chimino, I'm not sure, but
Jiro Good. This is a Staff Strike Futures now list.
Yeah. All in, isn't it? This is the deck he's saying that I'm sure Mitch has been banging the drum of. He's going to keep playing until they ban it, and he thinks it should be banned. 14 attacks in a 50-card deck.
The Momo in the sideboard with no quick creates is interesting. It's one of those decks that we've seen it played, we've seen it talked about enough that I look at it and I'm like, yeah, that's a Futures Now Mirror list. The sideboard to me is way more interesting than the actual deck. You got the Twin Sword Slicer as a one-off, which could be more plus Ultra, which feels good. And
again, it's 0 set 5, right? No, we've got big 3. We've got a single, the big 3.
Yeah,
a single big 3. So this is pretty much the same deck that they played last season. Apple has gone to the point. I was going to say evil versus good, being able to cancel any response feels really good in the current meta lineup, but yeah, it's a good future note. Any extensive notes from you, Mike?
I mean, this is the list that Mitchell's been killing people with since Future is now released. There's not it's so streamlined. There's not much that you can really change in the list. It's just going to be like one card here, one card there. Clearly, it's still very good, even with the limited set 5 added. So,
and I mean, it must be able to do its job because it beat Nate DeWalt in the top 16, and Nate is a teammate, so clearly he must have a kind of intimate knowledge of the list itself, so knew what was coming, and still wasn't able to prepare for it. And Andrew saying that Momo is in there because he cannot beat Nomu at all.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's a fair reason to have Momo in there.
But again, he got paired into a race ahead. A race ahead is generally going to be bad against Giro, right? And it's just a lot of
Apple saying that
is too fast.
Apple saying that the big 3's in there just so they can have one set 5 card in there.
Quite possibly.
I updated it for set 5 with one card. Taiyaki Fnatic seems decent, but like Mike was saying, this is the same list we've seen them running since last season.
I say that's not a bad thing. The deck is very good. It's very consistent. It just, as I say, when you have a list that you've played so much and you've tested it so much, and you get down to the really nitty gritty, it's streamlined. It's it's as close to 50 cards as you can get it. One card change is something you have to accept sometimes.
Exactly, and when you've got that many reps in with a deck, when you've streamlined it to that point, it becomes like a fine machine, and one grain of sand can completely disorientate it.
Yeah, I mean, I've had national winning decks where I've played. It's been a 67 card deck. I've not gone any lower than that, and I chain literally one copy of one card in the deck, and it changes everything. So yeah, I mean, it's clearly solid. It's not going to change much.
It's kind of like coding. You change one thing, it's like error on line 11. There is no line 11.
Yeah. And yeah, I think Mitchell's going to keep playing this deck until he wins with it, or something gets hit.
I know the unfun stuff guys have already testing for Rochester. So I know Andrew Holder has been talking about doing Evil Overhaul, which, you know, it's a deck. It's decent. But imagine
well, he's played the good and winning overhaul and got his win now, so he can play the fun overhaul now, right?
No, you've got to gatekeep that buy. You can't let anyone else have buys.
Do you still get buys from RLEs?
Yeah,
you get one.
You get one, and they don't stack. So let's move on from Richard and let's go to Travis on Recovery Girl. It's a deck. It doesn't want to die. This one's actually got body rejuvenation in it, which seems interesting. Especially with the self-sacrifice. It's energy suction. Love energy suction. That's my hill I'll die on. Energy suction is a great card. I've played it so many times that my opponents just go, "Oh, this is the turn I'm going to die." If I have to block everything, or you're going to recover. A bit more.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Recovery Girl doing Recovery Girl things, but although I have to say I do like the Pigeon Flock.
I like the blood transfer. I think the blood transfer is really cool.
Blood transfer was standard for Recovery Girl, right?
Yeah, blood transfer is pretty typical for Recovery Girl.
Every in there to keep alive. It looks like a I'm never going to die kind of deck, and by the time you kill me, you're already dead. Let's go.
Yeah, I love Young Heroes.
Yeah.
I like the Pigeon Flock.
I think the body rejuvenation and recovery smash. We got rejuvenating smash. Yeah, this deck just doesn't want to die, and it's running the forceful blows, and I know exactly why it's running the forceful blows. Because if you block the forceful blows, you pick up the energy suctions and you play them, going, okay, I'm going to gain more health. Because I tried that in Life Overhaul. I played Forceful Blow, and then I realised this isn't the deck for it. And then someone suggested Recovery Girl. I went, yeah, but I'm not playing Recovery Girl because I don't want to hate myself. Let's move over to the pre-prepared statement and notes from Mike about this deck.
There is no pre-prepared statement. This seems like a pretty typical Recovery Girl list going forward. And from where we were in set 4, it feels like, relatively straightforward, like movement from where we were with the focused attack, moving into more of a 100% repeated, rejuvenating smash kind of style. The fact this is the first deck I've seen running body rejuvenation makes me very happy. That card is very strong and is probably one of my favorite foundations from this set, especially in Good and Life when you compare it with Passing the Torch. Now this is a 98 card deck. Oof. This is a chunky deck. And sorry, no, this was not a 98 card. This is an 80 something card deck. I want to say I've been playing a 98 card deck.
Why?
You'll see.
I don't want to live in the world where I get paired into you next week, and it's a 98 card deck.
But what you'll find with running a deck so large is you run into some of the strangest RNG. You can have like the perfect game, and then you can have a game which we saw in game 1 of top 4, where Travis mulliganed into one foundation, and proceeded to have a terrible time because of it. I think this list is clearly it is not going to die if it does not want to die, as long as it doesn't get RNG'd out of the game. Whether that's necessarily good or bad, your opinion, Girl. Like Richard, I love the inclusion of pigeons, but that's that's been my card since set 3. It's
not playing mockeries. Just notice not playing Rufus Mockery. Interesting.
I like the recovery time in place of it.
The main issue with Mockery is if you've got Mockery in hand and Rejuvenating, you've essentially got one of them as a dead card.
Why?
Just on your first attack, you can't play Mockery until your third card.
Yeah, you can. Do you mean in hand?
No, because you play an attack, you play Vicious Mockery, that counts as your second card, right?
Why would you ever play that as an attack? Ruthless Mockery is purely for a block.
Okay.
Yeah, you're never playing the second enhance on Ruthless Mockery.
Yeah.
That shows you how often I play.
about
That's how it shows you how often I play. When does Recovery Girl block?
She blocks with Ruthless Mockery.
I see.
You blocks with Ruthless Mockery and says the rest of your turn's now irrelevant. See you
It
now.
gives every attack -2 damage. And then when you combine it with something like Bewildered, from the third attack onwards, everything gets -5 damage.
No Ruthless Mockery, no Bewildered. So yeah, actually this is quite different from the previous ones we're seeing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it's clearly, evolved.
Yeah.
As I say, I do like the ally package a lot. And I know that Travis was killing relatively quickly with the deck, so
Yeah, the Recovery Girl games were not the 3-hour, 4-hour games that we had at the HLC or we've seen in other events. They were quite quick and they finished ahead of the feature match.
yeah, I would like to see it with less cards. But yeah, I think this is going to be somewhat the standard of Recovery Girl going forward.
I like the 3 body pillows in the sideboard, just from Momentum Hate.
Yeah, as I say, it's Recovery Girl. There's not a whole lot to say about it. She doesn't die.
Exactly.
She's an annoying character, but the list itself is solid. It just feels a bit too chonky for the sake of being chonky.
So let's move over to one of the 2 Justins that made it into the top 3. Let's move over to Justin Birch on Giro Air. It's a Giro Air list. It has all the cards you expect to find in Giro Air. Apart from it's not running Jolt, it is running Pillar Swing.
No, it's quite different.
Okay.
It's not running Stormer Blades. What's the point?
Well, you're going to have to come up next week and show the power of Stormer Blades, or Nathan Squire is going to be credited for the creation of that deck.
Oh, son of a gun.
He's judging. It's fine.
Shh! We almost had him! We almost had him on the line!
Actually, I might be able to come because we had a 3-hour and 10-minute delay on our flight over, which means EasyJet has to pay us loads of money.
Ooh.
Going just over the 3-hour cutoff. So yeah, I might have the money to come. We'll see.
Yeah.
Very nice. Well, hope you do.
So, going off Weber Blades, interesting one-off.
I mean,
Weber Blades is a good one.
Yeah,
like that was added. Grant added that to his list as well. In set 4, it's one of the few air cards worth adding because it helps you out just against those defensive decks. Just getting that little bit extra speed or damage back.
I don't think I ever saw it in the times he beat me down, but yeah. The closer I look at the list, it's not running. It's an explosive release. It's not running Jolt. It's pretty much just a singular charge kind of package.
Only running 3 sound waves.
It's running 4 double.
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah, it's running Indiscriminates. That's not a regular card. Like this looks like a set 2
attack lineup.
Hero list. Yeah, the attack it looks very much like a set 2 attack lineup when people tried moving away from the instant explosive greedy lists for a while.
It's been a while since I've seen Indiscriminate at least above a 2 of, because everyone's expecting it. Everyone's holding a low block because you need to against Giro even if you see an Indiscriminate. I think you always hold 2 cards. One's a low block, one's a high block until you find out what deck it is, a Home Run Comet or Indiscriminate.
Yeah.
No sideboard again. No sideboard.
I think he said I think I remember seeing something about how he just didn't want a sideboard or something.
Who was the person that took judge damage? We got a game loss.
That was Travis, wasn't it?
Possibly. I do not remember. If anyone check can remind me. I wasn't fully watching because I was making food at the time when it was when the top 16 started, but I know someone took judge damage and still managed to 2-0.
Yeah,
it was Travis.
Hearing that was Travis, but
what was the judge damage for?
Some sort of deck list error. I don't know.
Ooh, did we miss it?
No, I think it was probably a card that was missed off the list or something that should have been there.
Fair enough.
90. It's 90 cards, isn't it? You can easily miss one off of a deck list.
Yeah, so just one that had gone missing in the part of playing it, or it wasn't in the when he checked. But
yeah, it wasn't in the list when you got deck checked, so you game lost and you can't play it for the rest of the event.
How do you feel about the one-off earphone jack with the full charge list?
I'm not sold on earphone jack generally. The card's fine. It's an extra foundation.
Yeah.
But yeah, +1 speed is okay.
But
generally,
yeah, like you're playing charges in Giro, you generally don't need. I suppose charges get you the damage, right? And the weapon get you the speed, so it gives you a bit of speed. It's fine, but like, I don't think he would have missed it whenever he didn't draw earphone jack. I
mean, the deck instantly gets an A- from Mike for the 3 nice tries.
Yeah, I do like all of the set 5 editions. Let's say Levitate, Big 3, nice try. If I had to pick 3 air cards to put into a Giro list, those would be the first 3 that I would think of.
Yeah.
I'd say the guy is willing to play a lot riskier than I would, running 4 copies of Pillar Swing with 2 checks in a deck.
I think that's what penultimately came to like bite him in the butt, from what I remember. Like some of the games I saw. Would like heard people in chat talk about it, like whenever he played Pillar Swing, it was pretty much always a 3 that was on top.
Yeah, which is always a little risky, especially for something that's
trying to kill you.
Not going to do a whole lot. Again, Humble Hero would be a decent place to get that first momentum that you need.
But Pillar Swing being guaranteed momentum is nice, but it isn't the case anymore. With Redguard, with Wall Cling, Faith Shield, there's lots of ways.
The fat gum thing, I can't remember the name of it now. That stops things being added.
Yes, surprise interception.
Apparently I'm wrong. Andrew Holder says that guy played 7 Pillar Swings and only checked 1 free. So the guy went nuts.
Like I'm not I wouldn't be brave enough to do it myself.
I mean, I played it in Chaos Mirio, and it's part of what turned me off the deck was just whenever you played it and checking the 3, going, oh, that's my only attack for the tournament, I guess.
Yeah, it's one of those cards that's obviously very powerful, but I don't want to play a 6 in a 2-check deck.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, he was also 16th after Swiss, so he was able to, he managed to get to 3rd, going 2nd in game 1 all day.
I tell you who doesn't like getting Pillar Swinged in the face? Tokiyami, which is who Justin knocked out.
Yeah. It's like, if I was going to change anything, I'd be running more flash attacks.
Yeah. If you turn up next week with Flash Giro, that's gonna be.
Don't worry, it's not really on my list, that one.
for the side events on Friday.
See, I can't play Giro. It always goes very wrong for me.
Well done, Justin. No sideboard, just playing a very unique.
I have plan A, and that's it.
Yeah, you have Stormblade Giro available. You can, for anyone who might be attending the RLE next week, go to our YouTube and you can find an entire deck profile done by Richard on his deck, so you can find out exactly what's in it.
I'm probably going to change it. I'm going to steal some stuff from Nathan.
That's fair. Moving on to second place and the half an hour rant that Mike has prepared on this is Justin Martin on Mimic Chaos.
Hold on, just before we start on Mimic, how can you steal anything from Nathan, Richard? He can't play Texas Smash or Prominence Burn.
No, Nathan Squire.
No, the good Nathan.
The other Nathan. Right.
Yeah, Nathan Squire went to his local provisional running Giro Storm as well.
Yeah, he was playing it with Mirio attacks. So the one tech I really liked was the Plus Ultra one, which is
Yes.
the 2/2, but that goes into your momentum if you block with it.
Yeah,
Which
that
obviously
card is really good.
Yeah.
Uh,
And a lot of the Mirio low damage, like the 3 diff from the starter and stuff, they're charges, so they get the damage.
so
Yeah, I looked at that a little bit.
we've got a 19, 19, 19 mimic list, 19 foundations, 19 attacks, 19 assets. Which
Also, bro, I have no rant about this deck.
I didn't say rant. I said speech. Yes,
You said rant.
yes, I went. Okay, you're ready to go.
This is the hypest deck in the top 16.
Yeah,
Very much so. It is a little bit too greedy. In terms of like the foundation to the asset ratio. I know you want to play a lot of assets to be able to trigger Mimic very regular, but the big downfall that I sort of noticed with Mimic is the low foundation count puts you very behind against stun and other committal.
Yeah.
Leaves you very open since you can only commit 1 asset per check. And in terms of the attacks, there's a lot of mid attacks here. So
Yeah.
it's very, very simple to block eventually. So I personally would be wanting to put in more of a variety, having, I'm surprised there's no indiscriminate shock.
Yeah.
That seems like an obvious, chaos attack. It's a charge. And
There is,
also,
okay.
I've got to give props to Justin for coming up with the idea of running double jab pummel and twisting Azure Inferno in the same deck. Absolutely.
Yeah, no one's done
ever
that before.
No one would think of that, would they, Brett?
Brett just died.
I do like the use of shocking entrance in this deck. Being able to pick up the assets seems really good. And
Yeah.
I've always been I've always been an advocate for the twisting Azure training with Gunhead deck. It's what I played at Nationals. I think I had it in the HLC as well. It just didn't come up as much. I think I cut it down. It's throw hate, and once you get twisting Azure off, it is -1 to all your opponent's checks and +1 to all of your +1 speed to all of your attacks. It just makes twisting Azure so much more value. Love training with Gunhead. Love to see it actually doing so well in an event.
Yeah, so I'd probably I would probably trim the assets a little bit and up the foundation count, but just from what I saw from the finals, like there are a couple of slightly iffy spots, but it felt like Overhaul could never lose that matchup. Because what you're saying, it's also very mid. Everything's just so very blockable. Like even the point where you're maybe getting off multiple twisting Azures, like you're needing to string hard, and eventually your lack of foundations is just going to get to you.
I think that's what this has that the evil deck can play around with. The trigger transformations being 5 speed, always having to and being ridiculous damage. You always need to block them, and being able to play Tongue Whip late down line and take advantage of that block lineup is great. Here you don't really have that same advantage to your opponent blocking everything. You're not really getting indiscriminate to take advantage of their lack of foundations. You're kind of putting everything on the trigger transformation to finish off the game.
Yeah, it feels like there should be a bit more of a middle ground between like the asset count between those two decks, right? It feels weird to play the 4th twisting in the sideboard. Like if you're doing the twisting training weights thing, just play the 4 main. Like if you're doing that thing, do that thing.
Just to answer Teacup Gaming in the chat, Ashley doesn't keep up with the meta anywhere near as up as everybody else. I did message Keenan about the meme I put up about it, but I don't think anyone everyone knew that.
This isn't us taking the piss out of Ashley. This is us taking the piss out of Brett.
That's just it. All the jokes about twisting Azure and double jump pummel, there is no ill will towards Ashley. She did a great job commentating. All the respect to her, absolutely amazing person. Met her at the HL at the set 4 preview. All the jokes about this are people taking the mick out of me for playing it for about 6 months and not making enough of an impression on the meta for me to be relevant.
And also never shutting up about it for those 6 months.
Oh hell yeah! I double jump and I went out and got like XRs. I did not shut up about how much I love those cards. Justin Andrew Holder has the best experiences from the finals. Just had no element of surprise on me with this. I tested and played against this deck at locals. We talked about it at some point. Yeah, that's fair. And you also got access to the deck list, so you'll be able to identify the weaknesses. I think the main thing is, as good as this deck is, to take down the overhaul list we're about to look at, it kind of needed everything to go right. It needed like the perfect lines all the way.
Yeah. I'd probably maybe trim a Takoyaki, trim a Fancy Feast, maybe trim a Battle Arena, and put 3 more foundations in at the start just to kind of even up those numbers a bit.
Exactly. Again, it's one of those things that I know you want to keep your momentum for trigger transformation, but I'd have a decoy duplicate in here. Yeah, you're not running that many foundations, but it can save your life, and as a 25 healther.
No. No, you don't want to play decoy duplicate. You want to play Broken Psyche.
And that's to the side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you don't. I think it's weird, but I think in decks that can play both, you play Broken Psyche over decoy because, 2 damage is often nothing, or you can just DR that if you need to, and you're not going down a resource. You're not letting them draw a card. You're not clearing their card pool.
In a deck that's running very little foundations that can only commit 1 asset per check, I think if they check badly on their 3rd or 4th attack and they've had to overcommit, I'd rather decoy duplicate than Broken Psyche because it's forcing them to spend more resources to try and get through to me.
No, it's not. It's less because you're clearing their card pool and giving a card.
Whereas
Broken Psyche just says it's 2 damage. I don't care about that.
If they've played an attack on a 7 and checked a 3 and committed 4, and then I kick it out, and then they play another attack on a 7 and check a 5 and commit 2, I've got 6 foundations out of them instead of 4, and taken no damage.
Okay.
So here's the thing. There's a big difference here in the fact that one's a 4 check, one's a 5 check, and Broken Psyche you still have a foundation afterwards. We've spoken about how limited Mimic is in terms of having foundations in play, and the fact that can be easily exploited through, various means. So I would personally go Broken Psyche for those reasons. I know that Decoy is a very good card, but personally you need your foundation to stay around so that you've actually got those extra cards to commit to past checks. So for me, I'd go Broken.
Teacup is on Chaos, I just think you play Broken over Decoy. And the response actually isn't dead in this, right? He can flip a Takoyaki to hand if that's a thing. You probably very rarely want to do it, but
I mean, -2 damage or +2 damage seems great with the Twisting Gazelle as well, because if you come across a Tokiyami, if you come across someone who can reduce damage, be able to buff it back up and get that -1 to all blocks. But we've got Teacup in there saying the element of surprise was the biggest advantage in Swiss for the deck. I knew Life Overhaul would probably be the hardest matchup in the overall tops. Defending the free Taiyaki, though, is a simple case of not being needed or wanted to keep the perfect balance. The free Taiyaki in the main board is just to keep the 19-19-19.
Okay.
It's a style choice.
I can't read chat, so I'm assuming Teacup is Justin.
I'm assuming Teacup is Justin. But
yeah.
Oh, Twisting Gazelle, not Taiyaki. Twisting Gazelle, yeah, no. You have no need to defend Twisting Gazelle. Twisting Gazelle makes the most sense in this deck.
Oh yeah, I was just saying I'd play the 4
Yeah.
in the main. But obviously you came second, and I didn't. So
yeah.
I mean, let's like a lot of what's been said is purely, personal on what you would play.
This,
absolutely, yeah.
This is bad opinions from 3 European players who don't matter.
Richard matters.
True, Richard matters.
But no, so Mimic is one of those. I get to play what I want to play kind of decks, and I get to play my way every single game. So no matter what you do, it's not necessarily a right or wrong. It's just a personal preference.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that, like I said, it's the All Might 3 sort of thing where you have to change up the way you're playing, and you have to change up the maths. Like you said, although Mimic is more susceptible to stun, when you're launching your attack, you have to take into account the +1 from the foundation, from the assets, and that's even more when it comes to trigger as well. Just in saying that it was a blast being over here last season for the Sheffield Hourly. Love chilling. Yep. Well, hopefully, man, you'll get out to the HLC this year after topping nationals, and we can get back out as well because I want that stake again. The gameplay's fine. Stake is the best.
Debatable if you ask Greg.
Yeah. He didn't get on the Pepto quick enough, but
oof. I still feel bad for Greg getting that game loss when he told the judges he had to go to the talk because he was ill.
Rules are rules.
Rules are rules. But yeah, I love this list, and it's one I may build out for locals because, believe it or not, I have a lot of these in XR.
But do you have the triggers? Because I'm pretty sure they're quite cool.
I have 2 triggers and 1 trigger transformation. But luckily, thanks to my local store closing down, all the Plus Ultra 5 packs went to LTO, who's using them in new events. So, and plus Team DMS are absolutely brilliant. Like if I go over there and go, I want to try Mimic, they will literally throw cards at me to build Mimic while I'm down there, and then I just give them back at the end of the event.
But yeah, no, it's a very, very cool list.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything...
It just looked like it ran into a bad matchup, basically, against Overhaul.
Yeah. I think this is... like just was saying, I think the element of surprise, something I've used quite a lot as well, is absolutely huge here. But the fact it got through 16, 8, and 4, with people knowing the exact list as well, says it isn't just the element of surprise that got it there. It has some real backbone to it, and I really hope Justin stays with it, refines it further, and he brings it back to nationals and he's able to go all the way.
And also massive props for getting me a big fat stack of points.
We'll go over Andrew's list, and then we'll look at the table. Which so we have champion number 1 Andrew Holder on Overhaul Life. Love Overhaul Life. It got me a win at PSC, but my list is very different to yours because I play bad cards. I missed the interview because I was cleaning up at the time. It's a really decent list. The one of Walkling caught me off guard. I was expecting more. And the 3 future charges, going into like what we assumed was going to be an Eraserhead meta, playing these very blockable mid attacks seems really weird.
And they're more just sort of setups, right? I'm just going to fling this and see what happens, I think. Right, because you can always stack the damage on it with Overhaul, so that Overhaul makes pretty much everything threatening, right?
Yeah.
And they're just like, well, I'll play this as my second attack. I'll draw a card. Do you want to take some damage? Cool. If you don't block it, cool. That's filling your card pool, which means this repeated 100 that's reading the board that's coming next to you. Now he's coming next. Is going to do a lot more damage, or you're filling your card pool blocking this, and my tongue whip's going to kill you, right? And everything becomes like because future charge is a 6 damage attack. Sure, it's blockable, but it draw me a card and it's going to be 6 damage. So you've got to block it, or I'm happy with you taking 6 damage.
Apple says he's sold on the future charges. I did play future charge in my overhaul life list, but it just was so blockable. It just felt bad drawing it when I was trying to get that initial damage in. I ended up swapping it out for setup strike. Because setup strike you get so much damage from overhaul. The speed is what needs to be picked up on, and I really love setup. I like setup strike. It does a lot of fun stuff. But
yeah, I think they're just playing different games, right?
Yeah, and I mean,
this is playing a longer game. It's just virtually, a lot of these things are like resource positive in some way or other, right? So repeated is readying your resources. Back alleys like drawing or building new resources. Future charge is drawing you cards, right? So like there's a lot of that kind of gaining resources from your attack.
You got note taking for speed. You got rescue completed for speed. Passing the torch repeated 100% smash is one of my favorite combinations. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything sort of crazy in the foundation lineup that I wouldn't expect, right? Maybe like the lessons in Taiyaki is like an odd one that I've not seen much before.
Have you read the deadlock on that card?
No,
not really. Yeah,
that's why we play lessons in Taiyaki. Lessons from Taiyaki.
Lessons from Taiyaki.
Yep, that's why we play that one. Okay, that makes sense. But I guess sometimes
remove add one attack from your Capuchan. Fair enough.
It is a very good though. I mean, sometimes the enhance will come in handy.
Yeah, and sometimes you're going to ready. Like, let's say you're effectively, you've got 2 committed foundations, and you're gonna ready a third with repeated. Like, you can just commit it for free, right, to cancel the next thing. Like, it's not a bad thing.
Ross Toss is saying it's insane death ability, but yeah, I was going to just point out the repeated 100% synergy on that is just commit, cancel your next enhance, ready it back up, just go. Same with rescue completed. You can, if you've got nothing else, you can just get 1 speed and ready it back up.
I like the taking the gloves off.
I love the heroic assistance. I'm so glad to finally see someone running it. It's been 16 decks, many of which share the symbols. Heroic assistance is not as much of an insane deadlock enhance, but still a really good deadlock enhance. And it's just such underrated stun hate of, unless it is itself committed through to a stun, you just get to ready 2 things back up.
Yeah, it just means they don't get to stun you down, right?
Yeah.
Or they have to have point and click to get rid of this first.
Exactly. And when you're running things like Lessons in Taiyaki, Cooperation Offer, Passing the Torch, you don't want them readying up foundations.
Yeah, and it makes sense to have the things like the extra face shields, extra wall planes in the sideboard. Like, you don't necessarily need to see them all the time. And you get through a lot of your deck, and you've got a lot of sort of selection and stuff in the deck anyway. It's like they're playing like your Singleton Evading Copy, your Singleton Face Shield. Like, makes sense.
Lost in Thought is a great tech piece here because it lets you pick up a face-up foundation that you might want to block with and build anything you want face down for later on in the turn, or maybe even next turn. Mike, have you got any prepared notes on Andrew's overhaul list?
I mean, it's just all the good live cards in good numbers played really well. There's not much more to say about that. The crutch of overhaul is that he needs cards that are resource positive, and you've got those in droves. You've got your new training method. You've got your passing the torch. You've got your repeaters to ready your passing the torch. You've got your back alleys. You've got your future charge. One of my favorite things watching Andrew do was to enhance with passing the torch to draw, and then his attack he enhances with overhaul once per turn. His attack got blocked. He flipped the passing the torch, then he just replayed it to have it on the defending turn as well. The deck is just solid, and it was just clearly played exceptionally well.
I know.
Yeah, and there's obviously a lot of play and there's a lot of lines to go. Like the sort of, I suppose the only sort of interesting card is the Tracy Cape as a one-off, which is nice. Again, a very threatening deadlock when repeated 100 head smash has ranged.
Yeah, and obviously your tongue whips are always a killer. Your cannon blasts.
Yeah.
Especially in Overhaul when you can play them at the end of a big string and just pass.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know Andrew tested Rejuvenating Smash, but when you haven't got the discard to actually utilise that momentum ability, it does make sense to cut it for better cards such as Cannon Blast and Tongue Whip.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, well done to Andrew. This is an absolutely solid deck. I can completely see why you were able to get to the win on this, but I can also understand why you didn't go completely undefeated. It wasn't a Jose Narono webcam event where you just took every single game. You mentioned you had a couple of losses, and no deck is perfect. This is a decent deck.
Again, I think you have to attack it the same way you would do a Momo, right? You just have to put it under extreme pressure every single turn, because if you let it breathe, then it will get on top of you.
Yeah.
You just have to give it no breathing space.
Yeah, that's the biggest way to impact Overhaul is just constantly put on that pressure. The exact same as Momo, just constant pressure. Make them spend the resources and just get there eventually. But again, this deck has the ways to regain those resources and is able to defend. Yeah. So not always as clear cut as that. But
no, this is not necessarily easy, but that's sort of I think how you attack it.
This is the kind of Overhaul deck I'm happy playing repeated as my first attack or even as my fourth attack. It's not punch in. You don't need to always be playing the punches. You can kill from pretty much any angle. Just for my own person. Any passing thoughts before we go over to the crowning of Richard?
I mean, this is very similar to like the list that I played. Well, that I have played. So the attacks are different, but like the foundation is generally quite similar. And I probably will steal some stuff from this.
I think one of the only things I'm playing different is I'm running practical training because I love the deadlock on it, and +1 speed seems really good for you, at least your first attack, which isn't in here. But I mean, it's still got decent all-round foundations. A lot of these foundations are threats. Can't complain at it.
And the block spread is really good as well. Especially in the Mirio world that we live in these days.
Yeah. Right. So, well, again, congratulations to Andrew. Let's see how this has affected the draft. So, following on from this, I netted absolutely 0 points here. Matt netted 18 points, with Tokiyami getting a top cut with a bonus 4 points. Recovery Girl getting 5 points and a bonus 2. And Abijiki netting another 4 points.
Yeah, Matt made out quite well this round.
Yeah. And then you kind of ran away with it this event with getting...
Well, like the fine list for both characters I drafted, right? And obviously Mimic got me a nice bonus points there, like a big old 7, I think.
You got 8 for Overhaul, 3 for Eraserhead 1. You got 6 for Mimic getting second, and 7 points because you drafted him around 7. Chris walked away 4 points for Mirio getting into the top 8, and Adam walked away with 3 points and 2 bonus points for Rapper, 3 points for Chaco 2 with a bonus point with 3 bonus points, 5 points for Jiro getting a total of 16 points here, which now has the new totals which on screen. I'm so far behind everybody else. I'm like, everybody has at least double my score. We've got then Chris coming in 4th place at 24. Matt in the last 2 events has jumped up to 3rd place at 31. Adam has been consistently in the double digits in every event at 50, but 2 events have even without the Oceania regionals, Richard would still be in the lead now at 58. That is absolutely insane. So we've got
I've had 5 of my picks hit so far, right, and multiple times, and obviously Overhaul's doing a lot of the work there for my first round. Adam's also had, I think, 5 of his hit, and obviously his 4th round Giro's.
So you're just waiting on. So you're just waiting on Dabby 2.
All for 1 and
All for 1 and All Might 4. Everyone else is hit.
Yeah, I don't know if those 1 will actually be. I mean, All Might 4 seems to have. People just seem to don't want to play that deck anymore, and I suppose everyone's now playing a raid copy from Mirio, so it's even less there.
Adam's still waiting for hits on Toya, Death Arms, and Mandalay.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Brett. Once Bubble Girl becomes legal, you'll get all the points.
That's what I said. That's literally. Well, it's only going to be 2 events, but she's going in. I am honestly surprised that Minata 2, Endeavor 2, and Fourth Kind have not made any top cup appearances.
No, Minata 2 has, right? Minata 2, you
got. Minata 2 did,
yeah.
Minata 2 is the only one of mine that I hit. I'm not surprised. I'm partially surprised Denki 1 hasn't made it, but it's a meme deck. I think the Denki 1 players are just playing Namajiki now, right? That's right.
But it's surprising to see no 4th Kind on Midnights, because Midnight gets to do the Void Punches thing very well.
Oh yes, she does.
Surprising no 4th Kinds. You're probably getting 2 points when Nathan plays like a 4 Face Shield, 4 Red Guard, Luxax his way into top cuts of Sheffield.
I don't know, because
Whoa. Yeah. Let's give credit where credit is due. That deck is not Nathan's.
That's Mike's deck that Nathan plays.
No, that deck is Luke Quincy's.
Ah, okay.
He's the originator of that deck. But Nathan stole a list and ended up placing better because he didn't have to play against Greg and Momo in first round of top 16.
That's fair.
That's fair.
But
it was just an opportunity to get a dig on Nathan, really.
Nathan has been talking about not playing Earth, so who knows where that's going to go. He's probably still going to play Earth.
He'll find something to put Texas Smash in, I'm sure.
But right, it is midnight. It is 1 o'clock in the morning for Richard. Got so much housework to still do because I played in the Sheffield event. So we're going to call it here. Thanks for joining us, Mike. Have you got any final words for the stream?
Not really.
Everyone come along to Sheffield.
Yeah,
that's. Oh wait. Yeah, I've got some ideas. If you're in the UK, get your singles from uarejects.com. Support them so they can get more singles and keep buying product and keep supporting the game, because we need single sellers over here, and JP has always wanted to support us as long as we're able to support him, so keep it up. Everyone attend the regional Patriot Games next weekend. I want to get booty bopped by all of you, so please come and defeat me.
And everyone play Overhaul Earth just to make it the most generic event there is.
Nobody play Recovery Girl because that would make me very sad.
Right. Well, on that note of the impending Recovery Girl, it's been great having everyone here.
Thanks, everyone.
We should hopefully
watch on YouTube. Do all the algorithm things, like, subscribe, comment, all that nonsense.
And we'll be back.
Thanks, everyone.
We're back next week, either with some stuff for the RLE, or I need to sit down and work on a quiz with some prizing that I've been given as well. So we'll find out what's going to happen next week.
Catch you all soon.
Bye.
Bye.